The Talmud says that Rabbi Yossi remarked that all my life I never understood a verse in this week's Torah portion. It says in this week's Torah portion that throughout the exiles, the Jewish people will be like a blind person grappling at noontime the way a blind person grapples in darkness at night. And Rabbi Yossi said, why does the verse say that you will be like a blind person grappling at night? To a blind person, it doesn't matter if it's daytime or nighttime. So Rabbi Yossi said, I never understood this verse until one time I was walking at night down a path, and I saw someone walking towards me with a lantern. When I got closer, I saw the person was blind. So I said, tell me, if you're blind, why are you carrying a lantern? You can't see anyways. And the blind person said, I'm carrying a lantern in the hopes that somebody else will see me in the darkness and help me find my way. And that's what Rabbi Yossi said. There's two types of darkness. One type of darkness where you're like a blind person in darkness at night. But then there's like a darkness during the day where at least, even though you're in darkness, other people can see you and help you. There's so much darkness in the world today, unfortunately. But what Rabbi Yossi is teaching us is, at least if we could see those who are in darkness and help them find their way, then they're not completely in darkness. The world is now focused on Afghanistan. And until the 31st, there's a spotlight on Afghanistan. And at least while they're living in darkness under the Taliban, at least there are those trying to help them find their way out. But what happens after the 31st? What will happen to the 38 million people who are left in darkness? Will we still care about their plight? Will we still try to free them and redeem them from the plight of the Taliban? Prime Minister Netanyahu, former Prime Minister Netanyahu, tweeted out last week that in 2013, when John Kerry was working on trying to arrange a two-state solution peace agreement between Israel and the Palestinians, Netanyahu explained to Kerry that he can't give over security of the Jewish people to the Palestinians because just like when they gave over Gaza, Hamas took over Gaza, and we still suffer in Israel from rockets and terrorist attacks from Gaza. And if we give the Palestinians the West Bank, we could expect the same from Hamas. And John Kerry said to Netanyahu, don't worry, what we'll do is we'll do what we did in Afghanistan. The American army will train the Palestinian forces to be able to be a strong army and withstand the Hamas terrorists. And when Netanyahu said, I can't give over the security of Israel into others, John Kerry said, well, I'll fly you to Afghanistan and show you what a good job we did in Afghanistan. I hope the world will care about the plight of the Afghans under the evil regime of the Taliban. And at the same time, I hope the world will see and realize now that there is no difference between Hamas and the Taliban, and the same support and sympathy that we have for Afghans living under the Taliban, we should have for the poor Palestinians living under Hamas, and for Israel, who has to deal with a neighbor who is cruel and evil. Because the truth is, the difference between Hamas and the Taliban is just in their name. It's like Coke and Pepsi. It's really the same thing. And let the world care about helping others who live in darkness or near darkness and help redeem them and find a better life for them. Have a wonderful day.